Happy Thursday, May 11th, 2023. 5-11. All the 11s. There are times when I go through the day and it's all I see is 11, 11, 11. 5-11, 3-11, 7-11, you know, whatever it is. When you look at the clock, you know, it just happens. There are certain days, and there are other days where it doesn't even happen. Today's one of those days where it's not happening. But there are other times where, holy cow, it's every time I look at my watch or every time I look at a clock, it's got an 11. Some kind of angel number thing. I don't know. People have done the math on it. I'm thinking of crypto right now. It's all about math, brother. It's math. There's 84 million, 8 billion people. 1/100th of a Litecoin for each person. One Litecoin for under $100, and you're 100 times ahead of the average Joe. See, I just get off on my tangents. No, but I see those 11s, and I don't know. People have done the research, I guess, on the angel numbers and what they mean. I don't know. It is interesting to me, though, when you see those kind of things. No coincidences. That's what I believe in. I saw there's a few things I saw today. I saw today. The whole Homeland Security thing, there's just press conference coming out of the White House. The director of Homeland Security was briefing everybody on the situation. Title 42 expires sometime today. Who knows when. So magically the border's going to be flooded and all these people coming in, and we're going to have the military down there to stop them with guns, and instead of just a physical barrier, you know, it's a lot easier. When you got wild animals coming at you, you put up a fence. You know, if you got coyotes roaming and you got a bunch of chickens, maybe you put up a fence. Otherwise, you're going to have to start shooting them. And who wants to do that? It's easier to prevent the problem than have to deal with it at a closer level or a closer range. Just common sense. So when you see this kind of manufactured, engineered issue that's happening right now, it's by design. It's absolutely by design, because this could have been fixed, and it wasn't fixed. It wasn't fixed for a reason. You got to ask yourself, what is the reason? And you got some of the arguments that, well, we need to fill some of these jobs, these vacancies, and bring people over. I get it. I mean, you know, if people don't want to work, you got to find people who can work. You know, I constantly see my daughter, she's working, she's 18, and so she's has no problems finding jobs, let's put it that way. No, I mean, here, can you work for us? Here, can you do this? Can you do that? You know, come in and work, and all these different jobs, and there's no shortage. And I mean, you can make good money, but you got to work. You got to show up. You got to do something. Otherwise, what's the point? And I always thought, you know, warm body. You know, most employers, if you got a warm body that just shows up and just shows up and is punctual and is there, I mean, you can be pretty mediocre and you'll do well. I mean, I see a lot of people who rise to the top of the corporate ladder that aren't that smart. But, you know, they show up and they know the right people and they get along with people, you tend to elevate sometimes. So anyway, one of the arguments is we need more workers. Well, you think about it though, what if they don't speak the language? And I mean, that makes it difficult. So I don't really buy that argument. Anyway, it's a problem. We got a lot of people coming in, and what are you going to do with all these people that are coming into this country? Trust me, I would probably want to come to this country too if I'm living in a third world situation, you know, living under tyranny. Can't find any, you know, enough money to buy the stuff to provide for your family. I get it. But you can't destroy a nation for that reason. Anyway, I don't want to get all political on that. It's just kind of common sense. If you want to keep things out, you want to keep people out, you want to keep animals out, you put up a fence. And you control the flow. Just that simple. So he's given this briefing, this Mayorkas. I don't even know what his name is, but thought I had eyebrow problems. I mean, this guy, whew. My eyebrows tend to get a little bushy. My wife gets a little unnerved when I go to meetups, and she's like, you got to get trimmed up here. And my hair's long right now. I'm kind of shaggy. I haven't shaved. And, you know, she's like, you got to leave the house once in a while, right? Well, not when you work from home. Not really. But yeah, the eyebrow thing, I better be careful. You know, you got to be careful. I'm not verbally abusing anybody here. There are certain standards that must be followed. Let's just put it that way when you're on certain platforms. But it's a kind of a different look. I'm makes me curious if you go back and watch this. Speaking of a different look, last night we had Trump on CNN. I didn't watch it. I just watched the clips. Apparently a lot of people did watch it though, so that's exactly what CNN needed, a boost to the ratings, and it definitely helped. And it just never ceases to amaze me how they love Trump, because it's all about ratings. You know, they get ratings with him. They say they hate him, but they really don't. All they want to do is talk about him. So think what you will of Trump. He's definitely the showman of our age. And I think tomorrow, possible, one of his competitors, Ron DeSantis, will be in my area. There's a special dinner going on. The club here in the area is putting on, and he'll be speaking at that. Ron DeSantis here in Peoria, Illinois. I think it's tomorrow. So that should be something to pay attention to, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. DeSantis comes to Whiskey City, Peoria, Illinois. All right, I'm just rambling about stuff. What I really want to talk about, I saw today, was a judge ruled that if you put your money in BlockFi, which, go back a little bit. Back in 2000, I remember 2019 at the Litecoin Summit, Celsius was really big right then. Big platform. I had met Alex Mashinsky. A lot of people met Alex Mashinsky. I thought he was a pretty decent guy. Ran Celsius, and that gave you an opportunity to take your cryptocurrency, put it into Celsius, and earn rewards and yield on it. So you could put Bitcoin in there and get like 5% back in Bitcoin. Ethereum, USDC at one point was like 10% or more. You know, so if you think about it, you're going to put your money into the bank where you're getting like a fraction of a percent, or you can take that money, put it in a stable coin, USDC, put it on Celsius, and get over 10%. And I know a lot of people who are like, you know, that's my exit strategy. When crypto goes up, I'm just going to put my money in Celsius. A lot of people did. 2021, everything went up. They put their money in Celsius. They're thinking, hey, I'm making 10% yield doing nothing. Just, you know, earning interest. And the business model seemed to work because the loans were highly collateralized with crypto, and then they would, I don't know, the whole thing made sense when they talked about it, but then it made sense until it didn't make sense. So Celsius is now gone in bankruptcy. You got BlockFi, another company just like that. I don't even have this thing lit before I started. What am I doing? So another company called BlockFi, it was the same concept. Voyager, another one too. You would take your cryptocurrency, stake it on their platform, or put it on their platform, and you would get yield. You'd get, you know, more of that crypto back, or maybe stable coins back, something back. You get a high yield. Well, all of them folded. They've all gone under. Celsius is gone. BlockFi is gone. Voyager's gone. They're going through all their proceedings and bankruptcies or whatever. But today a judge ruled that, I think it's Michael Kaplan was the name of the judge. Anyway, ruled that if you put your money in BlockFi to earn yield in an interest-bearing account, it's not your money anymore. It's not your crypto. If you'd put it in a custodial account to where they're just being the custodian of the crypto, it's different. They're actually kind of responsible for losing it. But if you put your money in there for a reward or staking or interest bearing, you basically gave up your rights to it. And that's what they're saying now. So anybody who did that on Celsius, on BlockFi, and probably Voyager, I'm not 100% sure, but it's kind of the precedent now. You put it in there to get yield, you gave it up. It's like putting it into a bank, traditional bank. You're basically hosed. They go under, they take your money. And see, that's on the books with banks. I mean, they passed this whole deal where derivative holders get bailed out first before people that actually put their money into the bank. I mean, that's law. Congress passed that stuff. So the ultimate lesson here is that when you give custody over to somebody to hold your stuff, possession's 9/10 of the law. They have it, you don't have it, good luck getting it back. You know, it's like somebody, you know, hey, here's a dozen donuts, hold these donuts for me, and then they eat the donuts. Where are my donuts? Well, I eat them, you know, they look good, but they're my donuts. Well, you gave them to me, and I was hungry. You knew I was a degenerate diabetic donut eater. What'd you expect? And that's the kind of situation you're in. You know, hey, it's like having the vampire run the blood bank. Hey, you don't want to donate this blood. What happened to my blood? Well, you know, the vampire. Vampire's got a vampire. It is what it is. And that's what the current system is basically like. Vampires running it. Vampires running the blood bank. So yeah, that was another just reiteration of you really should probably take possession of your wealth, take possession of your energy. And that's why it's so important. If you're in cryptocurrency right now, most important thing, anytime I teach a class, most important thing, you write down those words when you first open a wallet. Usually, create a new wallet and you write down 12 words, possibly 18 or 24 words. You write those down in order. You don't lose those. Those are the keys to the magic internet money that's out there on the blockchain. You can't access that money. You can't access those coins unless you have that key phrase. And so when you set up a wallet, you use those words and boom, your private keys are in that wallet, which offers a key to your virtual safety deposit box that's verified by the blockchain, whether it be Bitcoin, Litecoin, DigiByte, whatever. So if you ever lose that phone, the coins are still out there. They're still protected and tracked by the blockchain, but you got to be able to access them. But if you lose that phone, you can't access them anymore. Alas, you still have the key. You still have those words which equate to your private key. If you've got those words written down in order, you can restore that wallet, another wallet on a different device, and you're fine. So that's the most important thing. Get your coin keys, take possession of your keys, have it written down, have it somewhere to where you're not going to lose it. You can have it in multiple places. Put it in safe places to where, oh my gosh, that burned down. That's where I had my private key written down on a piece of paper. Oh wait, that's right, I put it over here too. Cool, then you can go get it. It's just important to do because you either take custody of your assets and you become the custodian, or you give that custody over to somebody else. And look what happens. Look what happened with BlockFi, Celsius, Voyager. They took your stuff. And if they're taking your stuff, you got to think, they must be valuable. So if you think crypto is not valuable, guess again. Why are they confiscating it all? Why are they taking it all and not giving it back to you? Obviously has a use case. So just something to think about. But man, don't be in that position. I know people in that position, and now it's like, I can't, my funds, they're gone. I gave them away, gave them to somebody else. Now they're gone. Don't do that. Be your own bank. Take custody of it. And you know what? You only got yourself to blame if you lose it. Rather be in that situation than have some bank sitting there or some platform sitting there with the funds and knowing that you're never going to get it back and the courts aren't going to help you. It's not a good situation to be in. Rather lose it on my own. Here, hold this bottle of whiskey for me. Okay, sure. Come back. It's gone. What happened? I drank it. Better keep whiskey in your possession. All right, anyway. So there's that. Just want to talk about the meetup a little bit more. June 23rd. June 23rd. Wow, it's going to be like not that long. 5-6 weeks. June 23rd, 2023 in Peoria, Illinois. Go to clintwestwood.net at the top. Got this big link. It says Happy Hour Roadshow. Happy Hour Roadshow 2023. Something like that. It's the biggest link at the top. Very basic web page because, I'm not a programmer. I'm not a web page developer, but I know enough HTML to where I can cobble it up and put links on it. It's all about content. It's not about glitz and glam. It just needs to work. It's like Litecoin. It just needs to work. So go click on that and join us. I'd love to see everybody at this meetup. This is one that I like to have every year near where I live. I don't have to travel far, which is always nice. Everybody comes to me, which is very nice. And then we can hang out and have some drinks and smoke some cigars. You don't have to smoke cigars. You don't have to drink. You can just hang out. Get a big hug. I want to give you a big hug. Love you. I want to just appreciate you all. And it's good to have, to seek out freedom-minded, oriented people and validate that we're on the right path here and the right mission so that we can continue to go forward and not be scared when all these things are collapsing in front of us. The debt ceiling thing, usually it's a bunch of show. Oh, they bark back and forth. Oh, we're not going to raise it. Oh, we're going to run out of money. All this garbage. Well, they can print all the money they want. So, I don't know. It's a political thing. They could rug pull it and say, hey, we're not passing it. We're not going to extend it, and kind of get into some other things and all these what do they call them, extraordinary measures that the Treasury's then going to have to go through to pay bills to certain people and not other people. I mean, it's all kind of a big show anyway. The money's all fake. They create it out of nothing, so it's, you know, it's all an illusion. Important to not play in that casino. Important to take your cards off the table or fold and walk out, you know, and take what you got and put it into a new system. Why sit there at that vampire casino and, you know, watch them deal from 3 different decks? Hey, bring another deck. I don't like the cards in this one. Okay, boom, boom. Yeah, it's just, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It really isn't. I don't know. There's a lot of other things going on. It's hard to keep track. It really is. And I don't even, it's almost like it's why I didn't watch the whole thing last night. I actually forgot about it. I was listening to the Litecoin Spaces that Litecoin Underground puts on. He's got a channel too on YouTube, LTC Underground. You should go follow it. I don't know if I've got a link on my website to that yet, but I need to. I'll go in and do that. But he puts out a lot of great content, hosts a great Twitter Spaces on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And you've got a lot of people in there talking right now. Last night's, it was talking about ordinals on Litecoin. And that's the thing that's clogged up Bitcoin and made the transactions high, which are down now. They're like $10 to send Bitcoin now. It was like 25, 30 because of the ordinals. And what's an ordinal? It's just an inscription, and basically you inscribe data onto a Bitcoin, you know, a Satoshi. Same with Litecoin, you know, a small bit of a Litecoin. You inscribe data, and you can put a game on there, you can put code on there, you can put War and Peace on there, you can put books, you know, all this stuff on there. You can put the Constitution on there, and this is where I think people are missing the big picture. It's going to clog it up. It's going to clog up Bitcoin. It's going to clog up Litecoin. It's no longer going to be money. Well, what is money? What is money? The cigar is not money because it is just not on the money. I'm not keeping it lit. But you think about, what are these blockchains? We think of Bitcoin, we think of Litecoin as a piece of gold or a piece of silver, and it's a form of money that we can transfer around. Yeah, it's that, but it's energy is really what it is. It can be used for, what's the most important thing in the digital age? Ask yourself that. Okay. I'm going to say probably data, you know, information, and valid information, and truthful information that can't be altered, can't be changed. And so if you want to put that information out there to where it's not going to be changed and it's going to persist, you're going to put it on a blockchain that's probably the best blockchain out there that's proven itself. That would be Bitcoin, because it's been around the longest. Arguably, it could be Litecoin, because Litecoin's never had an interruption. It's never, you know, had an issue. It's been running nonstop since the day of inception. Bitcoin hasn't. But you look at the strength of the mining network and the power and all the resources behind it. Bitcoin's got all that. And so people are willing to pay up to put information, ordinals, inscriptions on that blockchain. And Litecoin, you can do it, a lot more of them for a lot cheaper right now. But at some point, these all fill up and the price to put it on there is going to be more expensive. But it's worth it if you're putting something, hey, I'm going to put a contract on there, you know, or a trust maybe on there that shows, that verifies what you own, what you control, what deals you have made. Just kind of like registering at a courthouse. You know, you go to the courthouse and have something notarized and file it so it's on record. Well, you can do that with these blockchains now. And you can do it with, let's say the ability to do it is on, just pick any blockchain besides Bitcoin and Litecoin. And it's real cheap, but that blockchain's only been running for a year. I mean, is it going to be around in 10 years? You know, I don't know. I'll tell you what, I'd rather pay up and put it on the Bitcoin network. I'd rather pay up and put it on the Litecoin network, because I know that they're not going to go away. And then it's just worth it to me to do that. You know, you buy a part or something for a car, and it's like, I want the genuine part, or I'm going to get the knockoff part. Well, how long do you want it to last? Kind of the same thing. Yeah, it's cheaper though. I'll fix it later. Well, okay, well, you're going to be doing the same work over again in not that long of a time. So you pick and choose. And if you want to pay for the premium service, so to speak, the place where you know it's going to be safe, you're going to pay a little bit more money for it. And so that's kind of how I look at it. And to me, it's not a bad thing. I mean, people are paying for space on that that digital ledger, on that digital record keeping service. It's all it is a database. You know, it tracks it, and all these computers track it, and so you can have an EMP in the US, all that information's still good because that blockchain's running on multiple computers around the world. You want something that's going to be there after you're gone, you're going to put it on those solid blockchains. And that's the real value of Bitcoin. That's the real value of Litecoin. And to me, Litecoin's the real value because it's a lot cheaper. And it's really no different than Bitcoin at this point. It's been running 11 and a half years nonstop. Bitcoin's been running since, 2009, 14 years. I mean, at some point, okay, what are you looking at? You're looking at 3 years difference, 3.5 years difference, let's say 3 years difference. Okay, when Bitcoin's at 30 years running and Litecoin's 27, what's that 3 years mean? It's a lot different when Bitcoin's been running for 5 years and Litecoin's only been running for 2 years. Like, I don't know. But when you get to that point, the longer you go throughout time, the more it's like, what's 3 years? They've both been running for over 50 years. One's 53, one's 50. Who cares? Who cares at that point? They've been running. They're not going to stop. So I think the whole thing with Litecoin is that it's proven itself. And there was talk last night. I've heard people say, well, you know what? Why does everybody talk about DigiByte? DigiByte. It's not everywhere. It's not liquid. It doesn't have, why are we talking about it? Well, because you don't want to fall into that same mentality that everybody in Bitcoin was, to where it's like, why are we talking about Litecoin? Bitcoin can handle everything. Well, obviously not. Why are we talking about DigiByte? Litecoin can handle all that stuff. Yeah, it can for now. And at some point, you're going to want that capacity somewhere else. And DigiByte, I think, is a great blockchain to do it. Dogecoin's another blockchain to do it. So it's important to kind of look to the future instead of right now. Hey, it works right now. This is the only thing that works right now. There are going to be other chains that kind of pick up the slack, and pick up, when these things fill up, you're going to have new ones come along that handle the capacity and do the things that the old chains, the old G chains don't do. So I think it's important to look forward, and I look at DigiByte I like DigiByte, so we'll leave it at that. I love Litecoin, especially right now. It's doing what it needs to do. And I still think we're going to see some nice surprises between now and the halving, which is the beginning of August. We'll see what happens. All right, I hope you check out the meetup that's going to be June 23rd. Click that link at the top of clintwestwood.net and you will see all the details. It's free. Just show up. Buy me a drink if you want. Buy Lisa a drink if you want. We'll take it. No worries there. But it's always a good time. It's nice to be around people like that. The energy of the community that comes together, it's infectious. I mean, it's a good vibe, good feeling, and it's just good to be around. And if you haven't been to a meetup, you need to get to a meetup, because I'm not saying this over speaking it. It will change your life. Everything changes your life, right? Everything that happens, but it'll leave an impact. You'll be impacted by it. It's important to get to these things and meet people. And we're not charging $1,000 a ticket to go to a conference here. It's free, because that's what it's all about. It's about us moving forward and not becoming part of the vampire system. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Hey, let's gouge people so that we can tell them how to use crypto, or steer them into cryptos. It's like, no. I'm going to teach you how to use crypto, because if you come to the meetup, which is free, I'll teach you how to download a wallet and write down your seed phrase so that you can be your own bank, and I'll even send you Litecoin from my own wallet, to where I just give it to you, because I want people to feel what it's like to be empowered, to see that move into their wallet and know that, wait a minute, you sent it to me and it was just the Litecoin network that confirmed it. It didn't have to go through a bank. It didn't have to get authorized, and didn't have to do a wire, none of that stuff. You'll see how easy it is to use, and that's what's important. Once you do that, it kind of clicks something if you've never done it. So I think a lot of people who have never used cryptocurrency and moved it around, and they're just in it for speculation and price go up in dollar terms, which the dollar's garbage anyway, and at some point it goes away. Instead of just worrying about making gains and how high did this one go, oh yeah, I feel good about myself. No, when you actually start to use it, When you use it, you realize that Litecoin right now is sound money for the digital age. It is a superior blockchain to pretty much anything else out there. I think anything else out there right now, if you're going to use it as a payment system. So that's why I send you Litecoin, so you can experience it yourself. And if you haven't, then you shouldn't talk crap about it. You should actually try and use it, and then you'll come to the same conclusion. All right, hope you have a wonderful day. Love to see you at the meetup. It's like 6 weeks away, and always trust yourself. Don't trust vampires. Trust yourself. Love you all. Have a wonderful Thursday. Tomorrow's happy hour, 4 p.m. Central Time on Litecoin Lisa's channel, and we'll be having a good time. Some drinks and cigars. All right, trust yourselves. Love you all.